It was a dark morning, one of those where the sky felt heavier than the air itself. Thick, bloated clouds sagged low, swallowing the sunrise before it could break through. The streets were damp from last night's rain, and the chill that clung to the air seeped into my skin like a warning. I had taken this route 100 times before, but today felt off. The usual hum of the waking city seemed muted, as if the world itself was holding its breath. I should have stuck to the main road, but I was running late. And so, against every instinct scratching at the back of my mind, I took the shortcut, the underpass. The entrance yawned before me, a cavernous mouth of concrete and shadows. The dim flickering of a single overhead light did little to fight back the gloom. Graffiti sprawled across the walls, words I couldn't quite decipher, jagged symbols that felt more like warnings than art. The air inside was damp, carrying a scent of mildew and something else, something metallic. I stepped inside. Each footfall seemed to stretch, bouncing back at me in a way that didn't sound right. It was as if there was more space in that tunnel than the eye could see, like the echoes belonged to something deeper. The underpass was never long, but as I walked, it felt as though the exit was further than it should have been. I picked up my pace. I froze. The sound hadn't come from me. My breath caught in my throat as I turned my head slightly, just enough to glance over my shoulder. The tunnel behind me was empty. I swallowed hard and forced my feet to move, but with every step, the silence thickened around me. My own breathing was too loud, my heartbeat hammering against my ribs. The exit was still too far. It didn't make sense. The hairs on my arms stood on end. There, just at the edge of my vision, a shadow shifted. Not my shadow. I spun around fully, my breath hitching. The underpass stretched behind me, empty and cold. But something felt there, just beyond the reach of the dim light. I wasn't alone. Then the light above me flickered and went out. Panic surged through my veins like ice water. My feet slammed against the pavement as I bolted for the exit, the darkness around me pressing in too tightly. My own footsteps crashed around me, but there was something else now, something running too, just behind me, just out of sight. I didn't dare look. The tunnel stretched longer and longer, impossibly endless. My lungs burned, my legs screamed, but I kept running. Then, the air changed. The scent of mildew and rust was gone. The cold dissipated. The pressure in my chest lightened. I stumbled forward, gasping, and suddenly, I was outside. I turned sharply, expecting to see something, some horrible, twisted shape slithering back into the tunnel. But the underpass was gone. Not just the darkness, the entire structure. In its place stood an empty lot, overgrown with weeds and broken concrete slabs. I staggered backward, my mind scrambling for answers. I had just come through there. I knew I had. I looked down at my shoes, mud-caked the soles, wet from the rain. But the ground beneath me was dry. And then I heard it. I turned.